Something strange is going on, as after a heartbreaking loss, Artemi Panarin is under fire by fans and media, and there were no changes made after the loss, which has fans fired up and pointing fingers at Peter Laviolette and one player in particular who has been struggling. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest, but before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the New York Rangers, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And shout out to the 26.2% of you who are subscribed and along for the ride. Your support has been unbelievable. And excuse the setup for now. I will be back in a regular setup in a couple days, but bringing all the content to you and all the latest with the New York Rangers and all the updates and fun stuff like that. Now, again, heartbreaking loss against the Colorado Avalanche. Absolutely gut-wrenching to lose that way with less than 30 seconds remaining in the game, especially with the performance that the team put on. And I mean, Igor Shesterkin, not the best game, but I was like, finally, the team is going to carry this guy to a win this season, and that was not the case. And again, last 30 seconds, absolutely heartbreaking. Turnover, giveaway, whatever you want to call it. And that was it. But there are some positives to take from this game. Will Borgen, fresh off the new extension, looking great, playing physical. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care if you're Nathan McKinnon, one of the best players in the league. He is going to knock you on your bottom, and he did exactly that. And, excuse me, I'm loving his play so far as a New York Ranger. He's come in and he's been a perfect fit for what this team needs. I said in a previous video that I feel like he came in and he's playing Jacob Trouba's role to, an A+ at this point. Like, he's really filling the role that they brought in Jacob Trouba to fill, but Jacob Trouba was not the right player to fill the role that they needed him to play. And Will Borgen is doing it beautifully right now. I love his physicality. I love how simple he keeps the game. One thing I've been saying, that Keandre Miller overcomplicates his game, and that's why it looks a bit ugly this year. But again, it was a tough loss. It was an absolute tough loss. A lot of people are saying that, Panarin was the reason for this loss. I mean, you can't pin one goal on the loss. I mean, it's a part of the game and a part of a play where you have to take care of the puck, and he didn't do that. But, this is from David. Panarin is one of the worst back checkers. He could have stayed with this guy, and the goal never happens. It was a tough play to leave that as a 2-on-1. He could have played that a little bit better, but again, I don't know if they lost the game necessarily because of that one play. They had a ton of shots on goal. They probably could have scored some more goals, capitalized on some other chances as well. So I don't know if they lost it based on that one play. Sean Avery had a lot to say about it as well. I won't repeat what he said, but you know what? You can read it for yourself up there. But Sean Avery had some choice words for Artemi Panarin as well. And Panarin, he's under fire right now by fans. A lot of people thought that he cost them this game. But if you take a look at what he's done this season, overall, he's had a fantastic season. For all the talk about how this team has underperformed, they have not been playing well. 52 points in 47 games so far this season. He's already up to 21 goals, which he scored yesterday. And again, he's logging quite a bit of ice time for the New York Rangers as well. So yes, was it a tough play? Yes, was it a tough game? Of course, you hate to lose that way, especially because the Rangers were on quite an impressive point streak going into that game, where then they lose in regulation. You think that they're on their way to overtime there to extend the point streak and maybe even win and keep up in the playoff race. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. But Panarin still having a strong season in my estimation. We'll get to that in a second. But again, speaking of people who are struggling, right, who are actually struggling on the team, Mika Zibanejad. And I mean, he's bringing some other people down with him right now, and he's got to get going again, because there was a stretch where he was playing well again. He was finding his game, and as of late, not great. And this is from Steven. Before being put on a line with Mika on January 9th, Will Cooley was 4th on the team in points with 24 and 1st in plus minus with a plus 10. And there was a lot put into the plus minus early in the season because the Will Cooley, Capo Caco, and Filipino line was never getting scored on, right? So their plus minus looked fantastic. And they weren't getting too much specialty teams time as well, power play and stuff like this. They were playing mostly 5-on-5, so his plus minus was looking good. But since being put on a line with Mika Zibanejad, Cooley has 3 points in 9 games and is a -4. Only player with a worse plus minus is Mika himself. So you got to split these guys up. I've loved Will Cooley's game. If you've noticed over the last little while, I got a Will Cooley jersey behind me. Again, I'll be back in my regular setup soon. But, I love Will Cooley. I think he's playing great. I think he's had a great season to this point. Zibanejad is clearly holding a guy like this back when they play in a line together, especially for the long stretches this season where Zibanejad hasn't been good. They have to be split up. And it's kind of ironic. Again, I have both of their jerseys on my wall normally. But again, Cooley's had a great season to this point. He needs to continue doing what he's been doing. I think he needs to play with somebody else because it's clear since being put with Zibanejad, he's a -4 and he only has 3 points in 9 games. That was not the pace he was scoring at before. So they have to get Cooley going. Again, just to highlight Borgen a little bit, he scored yesterday. It was great. And let's start a dialogue. This is from Schneider. Shuttle. Mika Zibanejad and Matt Rempe have the same amount of points in the last 4 games. So Zibanejad has not been having an easy go as of late. And again, there was some criticism because of the power play last night and the turnover that led to the goal with less than 20 seconds remaining. I keep saying 30, but less than 20 seconds remaining. And a lot was made out of the power play and kind of how, you know, this even came to be. And I'm actually a big fan of the structure of the Rangers power play, but they haven't been executing. They haven't really been good as of late either. There have been stretches where they have looked good, but this falls on the shoulders of power play 1 in this moment, and it was a bad play. Yes, again, let's remember what Panarin's done so far this season, but it was a bad play. And in saying that, Colin Stevenson was at practice this morning, and he said at New York Rangers practice, everyone is present and accounted for. There don't seem to be any changes in line combinations or D pairs. Power play 1 is unchanged. Fox, Zibanejad, Panarin, Trocheck, and Kreider. And power play 2 is minus Artur Kaliev, and it is Miller, Lafreniere, Cheadle, Smith, and Cooley. And now the one thing that's very interesting, and David brings this up, is power play 1 can't score right now. They're struggling, and there's still no changes. And I don't understand, like, this is very strange to me, why Peter Laviolette continues to do this. And I think that he's a good coach. I understand he's a coach that needs to work with older players, and whether you like that or not, it's the fact of the matter, and he is the Rangers coach. I do think he is a good coach at the end of the day, but these are the things that really puzzle me when he makes decisions like this, or lack of the decisions, right? He's not making any decision here. He's just continuing to keep these guys together. They're clearly struggling. They've struggled for the majority of this season when they've played together on the power play. No matter what's happened in the past, this season is this season. They've been struggling, and he refuses to change anything up except for maybe a very small sample size amount of time. But very odd to me. I think it's very strange. He continues not to break them up. And again, you know, the goal yesterday kind of falls on the power play 1 and, you know, the fact that they weren't able to score and capitalize in that last minute. They could have put the game away themselves, and then, you know, it just kind of falls apart, goes back the other way. Avalanche score with less than 20 seconds remaining. But let me know what you think about that. I think it's very strange that he hasn't made any changes. Let me know what you think about Panarin. Again, overall, I think he's had a great season. It's one bad play. It's heartbreaking. It's unfortunate they lose the game like that. Let me know what you think about Mika Zibanejad as well, because he's had a tough go, especially as of late. There are stretches this season where he looked like he was finding his footing. He has not been good, and I feel like he's dragging guys like Will Cooley down right now. Will Cooley should be playing with somebody else because he's had a great season. He needs some complement pieces as well as part of his line mates. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.